Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 322. Dave Hall, restore a muscle car, a little auction talk as Barrett Jackson week heats up. Here we go.
I personally think that we're there. We're ready for it. I know that Tyler and I have been discussing this lately. We tried to do some in-house builds, from time to time, and I still love, the first gen Blazers. I'm a huge Blazer guy. I always had at least a Blazer and a Trans Am growing up. In high school, college, you name it, I always had them. The Square, to me, is definitely one of my favorites right now. I love the first gens, but I'm kind of past that phase. I think the square body market is there now. I feel it because the early third gen market for Camaros and Firebirds has taken off. We're seeing more and more square customers come through the shop that want to get vehicles fixed up or get work done to them, and I think it's the timing is right to have a vehicle like yours go across the stage, and especially of that caliber. And you, as far as I'm concerned, I love how that truck is set up. It's an epitome of that year, that vehicle, and that style, for the great color combo with the wood grain down the side and stuff. It just sets right. And I would love to drive that thing, all the time.
Damn, son.
USA1Industries.com. Your square body source. Used them for my SEMA build. I've been pimping out their dashes for so long, 10 plus years. And people would always ask me, where's the best dash pad? USA1 Industries. USA1 Industries, without a doubt. So the team over there has been so supportive to me, my build. I get on their website, their process, it's easy, it flows. I can know what parts. And sometimes, honestly, I'm not even sure what parts I need, but when I go through the website, it kind of cues my mind, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should buy that. Oh yeah, I need that. It was extremely helpful. I got 2 large shipments when I was doing the Big Sky Bonanza build, and it saved me. It really did, to know, oh yeah, I'm glad that I ordered that. So when you're going through a big build, think USA1 Industries. Great support, fast shipping. Everything came just as I needed it to. And honestly, their packaging and their labeling was great. So I would be going through packages and I'd be like, oh yeah, this is this grommet. Oh yeah, this is this hardware. So support those guys, USA1Industries.com. They are the title sponsor of C10 Talk, and we appreciate all their support. Check them out, guys. 73 to 91, you need it. They got it. They ain't got it. You don't need it.
Let me tell you what Melba's Toast is packing right here, all right? We've got 411 Posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some fucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got the ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth clapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What's up? Coming at you with a little auction talk with Dave Hall. I thought reach out to him, and as Barrett heats up, we'd chat it up a little bit about not only the market. Kissimmee started out last week, 2026 with a banger. See what we're looking at up at Barrett this week. Obviously, I've got my 1974 K5 Blazer Big Sky Bonanza going. A little nerve-wracking, but we've got a great time slot. I'll be up there all week. If anybody's got questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'd love to show you around the truck. And Dave's got a few that he's shipped out, a 1972 Feathers, a 92 Typhoon. I believe he's got an 89 Camaro, and there's one more. Oh, there's a Corvette. Yeah, a Corvette coming out to Barrett. So I was out there earlier getting the Bonanza set up, and things are already heating up, looking good. Weather's great. Hopefully you guys can check it out. If you can't make it out, you can always check it out on TV, YouTube Live. I'm not sure what channel they'll be running things on this year, but it's going to be a good time. A lot of guys in our community are also in the Barrett-Jackson Cup. There's plenty of C10s. Brandon Burrell's got his K5 out there. Biscuit. You've got Doublemint, which is built by Big Ten Garage. You've got C10 Skyfall, built by Arizona High Test. What else? Isn't that not the watermelon truck, but it's turquoise truck. I think Finish Line's got one out there. So I'll be out there, and I'll try to go walk around, check out the Barrett-Jackson Cup over the next couple days. But get online, vote, check those trucks out. I know they're all... they're up there. They're having a good time with that cup. And then the auction's going around as well. So it's pretty energetic, a lot going on. Thought we'd grab Dave, and the pod went really well. So 322 is going to be Dave Hall. I already recorded 323, which is going to be Scott Mason and Patrick Gibellina, who is the new partner for CK Truck Mag. So CK Truck Mag 2.0 has started. We've got the pod. I will drop that either Sunday or Monday, getting things out. So probably Monday. I'm going to be a little busy Saturday. Either going to be smiling or crying on Sunday, and then Monday I'll get it out. So that'll be 323 CK Truck Mag with Scott Mason, editor and chief of CK, and then new partner Patrick Gibellina coming in hot from Mr. G's Classics, and recorded that one. So we'll get that out 323 on Monday. All right. That's it. Let's get going, because I've got to get up to Barrett, and I just wanted to get this one out to you guys. We'll be back next week again with CK, and please let me know if you got questions, comments, or concerns. Ronnie at Truck Talk Media, RONNIE at Truck Talk Media. Let me know. All right, guys, have a great week. Late.
All right. C10 Nation coming at you. A little auction talk. We've got Dave Hall and Tyler from Restore Muscle Car out of Lincoln, Nebraska. A little cold out there. They're going to come out to, Dave's coming out to Arizona in the morning for the auction. Dave, welcome. And Tyler, thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule. Let's chat about the auction. Let's talk about the hype and Barrett. So you guys are coming out, or you're coming out, Dave. And I think the market right now seems to be hot based off of what we're seeing at Kissimmee.
Yeah, Ronnie, thanks for having us here this morning, Tyler and I. I watched the sale last week down in Kissimmee with Meekum, and had some good friends of mine that were sitting there bidding on some vehicles and watching some stuff rolling across the block. And yeah, the numbers were strong. I think it's a really good time for people that want to invest some money into some classic cars to be paying attention to these cars rolling across the block. The one thing about the Meekum auctions is a lot of those vehicles are going to have reserves, whereas Barrett-Jackson is a no reserve auction, and a lot of people forget about that. So the opportunity at Barrett-Jackson for people to actually get a good vehicle, at a good buy and stuff is very good. So they need to be, joining, whether they can be there or not. They can do it online. They can actually bid. And we brought down several really nice vehicles of our own. And obviously we're excited to help push yours across the block on Saturday, late afternoon, which is going to be a pretty big spotlight. So,
yeah, I think it's funny when you say like the no reserve and your ability to really, for the audience, you might think that Barrett is maybe the pricing from the perspective of what you see on a Friday, a Saturday, a Thursday, a Friday, or Saturday. But there's so many deals to be had. I truly believe that. And I've had this discussion so many times. What it costs to build something versus what you can obtain it for, your hourly rate. So if you're West Coast, your hourly rate's $165, $185, paint, body, 3 years in paint prison, building it with a builder who's backed up. You can go to these auctions, and especially Barrett, where there is no reserve. I mean, think about that, audience. Think about no reserve. Like, if it sells for, you might think it's worth this, it goes in, it is stressful, especially from our end. But
Yes.
I always kind of used to, well, Todd, Big Fish Carpenter, we call it like Truck Tuesday. And then even, that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there's deals to be had. And you got to get on, you got to buy a ticket to play. And when you do, you have that opportunity to bid and possibly take something home.
There's deals every day at that sale. You got to keep in mind that because it's a no reserve sale and they have so many seconds that it's going to have to be on the stage and then off the stage so they can roll the next one up there. So they're going to keep things moving. And if somebody's not paying attention, especially a nice vehicle rolling across the stage, and if the guy that really wanted it is going to get a beer or grabbing a hot dog, he's not going to be paying attention. He forgets that car's going across. There's an opportunity to be had there if you don't get a couple of strong bidders on a car. I've bought multiple cars on Saturday afternoon that I've gotten really good buys on because people weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see the results after and you're like, how did that go for that? That's crazy. And sure, maybe if you were the second bidder or the third bidder, it might have went a little higher, but you'll never know. And that one guy got it, snagged that truck. So the other thing I think to talk about, and I've seen this evolution really solid over the last 6 years where the muscle cars started kind of coming down or maybe equalizing. And then the trucks has started really coming up. And I kind of always blame the class of 83. They made these trucks cool. They couldn't afford the muscle cars. Is Dave the class of 83?
Oh, I'm 89.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a 92er, and I just know like my whole thing on this market is that that mid 80s couldn't afford the muscle cars. They wanted it. They said, "Hey, I'm gonna get this grandpa's truck, my dad's truck, my uncle's truck. I'm gonna build it." And then the kids saw that, and then the trucks have come up so good. And again, there was a point at the auction. I'm gonna say, spitball 5-6 years ago, where I saw a C10 go for 65,000, and I saw like a CUDA. Now, granted, it wasn't, it might have been a Challenger, but it was a 380, whatever. It wasn't anything special, but again, it went for less than the C10, and I was just like, oh shit, we've got a little bit of a change in the market. So we are definitely at that point where, and you being Restore Muscle Car, obviously you have a lot of cars as well. You see that balance because you guys both sell a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we're restoring a lot of different vehicles from, classic American muscle to, we love the Chevy trucks, the C10s, the K5s. We really like four-wheel drive stuff, especially from being in the Midwest. That's what we prefer to work on. But we got a Roadster Shop chassis C10 going right now for a local client. And
77 C10, big block, 5-speed. It'll be a fun little truck.
Spec chassis, what's it on? Yep.
Spec
Okay.
chassis.
Yeah,
big
nice.
big block Chevy motor going in it. And but he actually saved a cab to what was that? That was from the Game and Parks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like from
Game and
years
Fish.
ago when he was a kid, he bought this Game and Parks truck and it just sat basically at his farm and he was waiting for today to get it done. So,
Wow.
yeah, and he's a huge auction guy. So he'll go down to all the sales and stuff in Arizona and Florida and he's got a nice collection. We've built several cars for him and his dad over the years.
He's always buying and selling something.
Yeah.
But this is what
This is his dream. He's
not getting rid of it.
It's all out. So
It's funny that he's doing a two-wheel drive out of it then. That's you would
he's
think.
a two-wheel drive guy. I haven't seen him with much for four-wheel drive trucks. I mean, occasionally he'll buy one because it was a deal, but he's a two-wheel drive guy.
So you guys might call it Game and Parks. We call it Game and Fish here, or we just call it Game Cop. But it sounds like if it's a Game and Fish or Game and Parks truck, it probably wasn't a trim truck. Most of those are just a no trim, and they probably have the logo on the side.
No trim.
Yep.
We're adding trim to it. I mean, it's gonna be black, white stripe, black interior.
Nice. Well, the biggest thing about that is the 77's the 1 year only, right? So you get the yellow trim, and people have yellow trim fever. I do. I love it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we've got the step side.
Indy truck.
We have an Indy 4-wheel drive, short bed step side.
Supposedly the only one.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Special order in Montana. Lady went in and said, "This is exactly what I want," and somehow got it ordered.
How so? Did it have stripes or no stripes? Because some indies don't
Right.
have stripes,
It's got stripes.
Yeah, it's stripes.
like impact stripes, like orange slice, the impact stripes, or is it the like Big Fishes where it has that? That's the Chevrolet version, and then the GMC version is different, right? So the Chevrolet version is like the one you had from Big Fish that went back to Big
Yep.
Fish, and then the GMC is like impact, like
I'm trying
orange
to
slice.
remember. It's so
It's got this. I know it has a big stripe going down the roof, like the hood and roof
Yeah.
line, right?
I'll have to check that out to see.
I mean, it's pretty weathered. We got it from Johnny Silverado,
Yeah.
and trying to remember where he got it from, but
he
Well,
got
yeah,
it
he
out
gets
of Montana.
he gets everything from up there. That's where I've gotten a few
Yeah.
trucks from him too. So
But yeah,
yeah.
he reached out to us and thought it was a good candidate to save because
Oh,
obviously,
for sure.
yeah. So we've
It's gonna need some work, but
It
we'll
needs-
get it there.
it needs some loving, but heck, we could jump in it right now. She'll fire right up and run it in.
So we were driving it back and forth over to the farm for probably a year.
Yeah, that will be epic to see that. So is there a client that's restoring it then, or you guys are going to restore it down
It's
the road?
ours.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
We'll do it through the shop and just probably give it our own twist to an extent, but nothing crazy, but still keep a lot of the nostalgia to it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I also think well, there's a good story. There's a guy, he bought it actually right here, and I should have bought it, but you got so many things going on. But anyway, there was a 76 that a guy found. It's out in Texas now, and they were thinking they were going to try to get it done like 4th of July 76, obviously 4th of July 26. I don't see that happening now, but yeah, I mean, it is a cool year when you think about these trucks hitting that 50-year mark. I've got Orange Slices of 76. I got another truck from Johnny Silverado that's a 76, the K25 or the GMC. But yeah, I've got a few 76s, and so it's kind of cool to think those things are 50 years old and still can jump in and that's the one thing I think people need to realize from the auction perspective and my audience is that we're getting to this point now where you've got so many days left, right? I saw a sticker one time that said 18, you got 18 summers with your kids, buy the boat. And so you're like, you guys, you're getting older, buy the truck you want, build the truck you want, and there's going to be some value there. You're not just throwing money out the door. I mean, you are to a point. You never know when you go to build something and you do all the bells and whistles, but for the audience is if you don't have a truck or you need a second truck, buy that truck because the value of these things, it's crazy to think that an old truck has an investment value, but they do. They really do.
well, you can't find them on every corner. You're not going to find them at every gas station. They're not like they used to be. And then to find one that's clean enough to save and restore or even enjoy, you either got to find something that's already been done or something that somebody's had and cared for. We've got a few different ones, sitting around too. We have another Spirit of 76 short bed, a white truck. That actually I think it was an original Arizona truck. But it needs restored. It's got some dents and dings, but
It's a solid truck, and it still runs and drives too. We still drive it around.
Yeah, isn't it crazy, right? 50 years, and you think about some of the new trucks that we have, and I think a lot of the kind of goes back to the old tractors where I've been seeing a lot of stuff for your guys' neck of the woods where these farmers, they're like, we can't even work on our equipment. I'm gonna get the old John Deere, the 84 John Deere up and running because I can't get parts. I got $1 million invested in this tractor. John Deere's telling me they got to send out their mechanic and they're waiting a month for the flux capacitor to show up and these old farmers are like, unfortunately some of those kids are going to have to learn how to be mechanically inclined because of that. But I think that's a testament to going down to your Napa. You can still get GM, Chevrolet brakes. You can get everything you need, and really with a little bit of help, some tools, the internet, Napa, O'Reilly's AutoZone, whatever it is, homage to Checker Auto back in the day. So you can fix these trucks and run them around. And I think that there should be, we're getting to that point where these, especially the younger generation, when I say that, I'm thinking more of your you're 28 to 35, they're like, you know what? I want an old truck like that. They're kind of, I hate to say it, they're kind of hip, and it's
Yeah.
funny because they're leaving the 8-track in it. They're leaving the cassette in it. They want it pawpawed out, man. They want skinny 8-inch wheels, maybe 7s on, tractor tires, rolling around with their cowboy hat and their girl. And life's good. Life's good. Don't make it any harder than it has to be.
Right. That's
Nebraska
true.
style. Do we have a Nebraska style? Is there, would you say that's kind of a Nebraska, a little, I always kind of look at the Ford Highboy because, they're a little higher, running those little skinnies, maybe a 4 or 5 speed. That kind of seems like Lincoln
I don't
style.
see a whole lot of the skinnies around here. There's a lot
Mm.
of 8 wide wheels, 12.5 tires. I mean, that kind of seems to be the thing around here, but I love the skinny look. I mean, they all have their place, but
Yeah, I truly believe it's starting to kind of get hot. I've had people, no lie, in the last 6 months, 3 guys ask me where they can get those tractor style tires.
yeah.
Like that.
Tall skinnies,
Yeah.
34s that are 9.5 wide. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And
That's
really, really hardy, like Todd Big Fish and Big Larry, just hardy,
big,
meaty,
aggressive.
just meaty tires. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so, yeah. So, we'll have to see. So Dave, you're flying out to Barrett, to Scottsdale in the morning. What are you thinking? What are you seeing so far at this year's Barrett?
Well, there's a lot of good vehicles and stuff out there this year. They actually brought in, quite a bit of good stuff. We have a 92 Typhoon going through on Thursday and a 72 Feathers Edition Blazer that goes through on Thursday. And I got a 2016 Z06 Corvette, and then we brought a really nice restored, pretty much was a one owner IROC, 5.7 liter 350 T top. It's black with the red interior, and it's got the Bose sound system in it. So that's really nice. We painted it, decaled it, just gave it a complete refresh and stuff because it was aged a little bit with the clear coat starts to peel on those things. So, but just some nice stuff.
Is that a 3rd gen or a 4th gen?
It's a 3rd gen,
So break this down. I always thought you wouldn't get, is it only
an
you wouldn't,
89.
so you wouldn't, hey, that's your year. You wouldn't get, I thought you couldn't get, maybe it's just not a convertible with the 350, but I thought they didn't even want to put the 350 with the T-tops because of the flex. That's why there was always a 305 and the RSs and
So
whatnot?
you could have got the 350 with the T-tops, just not in a convertible. So the
Mm,
305 was only available in the convertible, and then with a manual car, there are only 305s. There you could never get the 5.7 with a manual car. So, but
mm.
this one is an automatic T-tops, and it's got the red interior with the black exterior, and the Bose sound system was another really rare option. Plus, it's also got the upgraded, I can't remember the option number. It's a G something or other for the rear axle ratio and stuff. So it's got the better ratio for the rear end. So it's a super fun car.
Well, kind of a great segue to running into numbers and stuff where do you ever, as much as you play with both cars and trucks, you're looking at all the, hey, this has got the Bose sound system. This is, I look at like Corvette guys are like, that's the YZ7 code. That thing's so rare. Do you really ever see that with trucks to that level? I mean, obviously, like, a Sportsman, the Indy truck, maybe an Impact, something like that. But do you really see trucks ever getting to be that crazy?
Um,
Meaning numbers matching and
I
things that,
don't know, not necessarily.
yeah.
And that's a good segue into, really what Tyler and I wanted to touch base on today with obviously the C10 Roadster Shop chassis truck that we're doing. We're in the classic car world for us with the Trans Ams, Camaros, and the classic American stuff. We have 8 Roadster Shop chassis here right now. We work directly with RideTech suspension, so we're putting tons of 4-link systems in, modern drivetrains, fuel injection. People want to drive these cars, so even though they are an investment, number one, number two, they want to get them out and enjoy them, and they don't just want to go to a car show and whip out their lawn chair and sit there and stare at everybody for 3 hours and then go home. They want to actually get behind the wheel and drive it, take it to go do some fun family events or on a small little road trip or whatever it is. That's why we put on the Bandit Run. We started that in 2007, and it continues every single year, and people enjoy getting their cars out on the road and actually driving them. So,
Yeah.
and,
Well, I think, Todd used to always say, Big Fish would say, it's the third car garage, right? You got a spot for that vehicle. Let's, the babies all the strollers are getting moved out and we got the kids a little older. Let's get maybe that SUV that we can put, 3, 4, 5 people in the family and get out. And that, for example, any one of the Feather Blazer, the Bonanza Blazer, the Typhoon, you could throw the family in there. Take them out to a little cars and coffee in the morning, maybe go through a little road drive with your family or your friends or your buddies. And really life's good. It really is. If you can have a hot rod, a muscle car, an SUV, a classic, a Blazer, a Bronco, a truck, something like that, mama's sitting in the middle seat, life's good. You got, the windows down, 8 tracks up. And I think it's just, don't make it any more complicated. And like you said, we have the tech with the modern stuff, with the RS chassis, with ride tech, the wheels, fuel injection. You have the ability. We have that. You get the metal that you love, that you fell in love with, that you want, the styling, but you get the modernization to really have something that you can jump in and drive 100, 500 miles without a problem.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it just, our goal is to make these cars something that people can enjoy when they want to and be able to get in it and go and actually hit the road and hopefully not have to worry about anything. I mean, obviously they're old cars. There's, we're kind of susceptible to what parts we're given to use on these cars today. So we try to steer our customers down the path of using the better components, the better parts. Don't just use something that maybe's been, remanufactured or something at O'Reilly's or something like that. Just get a name brand part to put on these cars, because you don't want to be broken down on a Sunday with the family in the back seat having to deal with stuff. So
yeah. And we have the data, right? We have the 20, 30 years of parts manufacturing, especially for GM stuff, whether that's your Bandit cars, the trucks, the SUVs. We know what aftermarket parts are good, good, better, best, right? We know what it is. Here you go. Here's your pricing options. I don't want to see you on the side of the road with a water pump because of this. And if you are, this is the one that we can get at O'Reilly's. When we use the GM Camaro water pump, we can handle that. So your life goal was to always do Hot Rod Power Tour or the Bandit Run. And here's the options that we have. We want you to succeed. We do not want you on the side of the road. Believe us. Yeah. Nobody does.
No, nobody does. We try and put, as many miles as we can on these vehicles based on our weather conditions and the roads and stuff. But I mean, 200 to 500 miles is what we really try and shoot for on these vehicles. Some customers give us a little bit more time to get it done, and others want to just pick up their car and go. So, but at the end of the day, we build these cars to be able to enjoy them. So
yeah,
I do my best to try and keep them simple so that you can maintain them. You can get parts for them if you're out somewhere, out and about. It used to be very, very custom everything, accessory drives. The simpler you keep it, the easier life is.
So you bought a C10 and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Damn, son, the choice is obvious. VintageAir.com.
Have you guys heard of Doja Mat? Retro mats done right. Those classic floor mats we all grew up with? Well, Doja Mat has created that same classic style with all of your favorite slogans. Check them out at dojamat.com. That's DOJAMAT.com. Dojamat.com. Retro mats done right.
I do my best to try and keep them simple so that you can maintain them. You can get parts for them if you're out somewhere, out and about. It used to be very, very custom everything, accessory drives. The simpler you keep it, the easier life is.
Well, you bring up a good point, like accessory drive. I have the new Vintage Air. I had, because now Dave owns the Blazer, and then Barrett Jackson's gonna own it. But I went with the Vintage Air, which is very similar to the Holly front drive on the LT, and that was a big discussion. Was what water pump do they use? Is it proprietary to what they use and Holly uses, and so on and so forth? And going through all that, do you guys ever find it challenging when we think about good, better, best with the resources that you have and really the variety of cars and trucks that you have? Do you find that it becomes challenging to keep up with so much aftermarket and know what's good, better, and best?
I think we know the high end companies and we know who to work with anymore. In the earlier days, yeah, that was difficult. There was a lot of people coming up, a lot of new products out there, some of them good, some of them weren't. And so we just kind of had to try a little bit of everything and see what worked. But anymore, we've kind of got it dialed in for our good, better, best for component wise.
Well, one thing, actually, I bought my console cup holder for you guys, but 3D printing adds a whole change to these things, right? So where parts companies now, I saw a guy on a reel this morning. He made this center hole thing 3D printed. He whipped it out. He put a center punch in it, and he did this whole thing. And I'm like, it's freaking ingenious. So this guy who's fabbing up a chassis, he's trying to run a straight line through this chassis, and he makes this little 3D printing thing. He's all, this keeps me centered up. And so I think that even that type of stuff where we're moving fast, we're moving fast. And so you're just trying to keep up with, Charlie down the road 3D printing, and then you've got your bigger companies, and you're like, hey, this is proven. I want to give this guy a chance or whatever. I've got another thing. There's a 3D printing company, a guy out of where the hell? I think he's from, I want to say Idaho, but he's got the little ashtray charger. So I've got the phone charger in the Bonanza, where, there used to be a couple Marlboro Lights and Virginia Slims in there, and now there's a freaking iPhone charger in what used to be my ashtray slot. So those little things like that are kind of cool, unique, and a change in society, really.
Yes, definitely. There's always the little modern updates and stuff. So we take a lot of the factory head units and actually add Bluetooth to any of them. So you can still have that original looking Delco radio sitting in the dash that still works and functions like it's supposed to, whether it's got a cassette, A-track, or whatever it is, but we can very easily add a Bluetooth module and stuff to it. So then that way you just, listen to what you want to off your phone.
We need to come up with one of those channels on the Pandora on the iMusic that's just old. We get the AM. So when you're listening to your old Delco Bluetooth,
got a little crackle to it.
It still has some crackle and some dial, and it's like AM radio, country coming in at the best time, right? So you can play that. That's almost funnily sad, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. We want to go back that far, but all right, so yeah, we've got the auction coming up. You're coming out. For me, I've been working closely with Dave and his team. It's going to be hectic. What do you expect this year when you come out? You're going to be there Thursday. You've got a lot running Thursday. When does the Camaro run Thursday as well, or Friday?
Yeah. Yep. I have the 89 IROC, the 72 Feathers Thursday, and then I have the 2016 Z06 convertible Corvette going on Thursday. Those are all going to be primetime vehicles, and then I have we have yours is lot number 1444.1 on Saturday afternoon, and then I have the Typhoon that goes through on Sunday primetime at lot number 1552, and that one that's a one owner Typhoon also. And we completely repainted it. It was stored probably 2 miles from our shop.
3 miles away.
For a long time.
Yeah, it was crazy when I saw your video, obviously, and it's crazy to think that was right there and sitting there. And do people, now that you have such an established business, do they, especially locally, do they seek you guys out when they get ready to sell, which makes things a lot easier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Often.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, yes. I mean, we'll get multiple emails, all the time. I had a few over the weekend with some people that passed out of Omaha and also local here in Lincoln. Another guy going through a divorce that's having to move some stuff around. He's keeping some pieces, selling some other cars. So, we're here to help, whether it be something that I help assess the value of the car, whether we sell the car for them or we just buy it from them. So, but we do everything we can to help. So,
Well, I like that. The value. That's the big thing. The audience always wants to know. I had a guy call me the other day. What's my truck worth? What is it worth? And you're like, well, the old saying is something's only worth what somebody else will pay for it, right? At this time, if you think it's going to be worth more than it is, then there's other ways of going about it. Whether that's putting a reserve on it at Bring a Trailer, whether that's Meekum, that's definitely probably not Barrett. But I think it could be, it could be where you try to look at a value. How do you best assess it? Do you use, hey, I've been doing this 10, years of assigning values. Obviously, you've been doing this your whole life. But I think that's a hard part is like, hey, somebody, what's this worth? And do we ever get to where we're outpacing the value? I know I'm throwing a lot at you here on this, but sometimes what happens is I think that I would look at Barrett last year, the Scottsdale January Barrett last year. Sometimes I wonder if the value of a vehicle and the labor included outpace what something is truly worth and finding that balance. Meaning a guy's going to have, when you break down 85 to 125 an hour, you're going to blow past what you could quote unquote sell it for, but you're building your vision and your dream. And if you want to do it yourself, you can, but this is how it happens. So saying there's a balance there with the loaded question is what's something worth, and then realizing that when you go to build something, it can change that.
Well, that value is in the eye of the beholder. And so we need to look at it from the standpoint is, if somebody comes to me with a vehicle, whether it be something they want to sell or something they want to restore, and that question comes up a lot, why would I want to put, 100,000, 200,000 into restoring my car when it's only going to be worth 80 on the market? Well, you're correct. But at the end of the day, it's your car. You've had it since it was new or whatever, or it was handed down from your dad. So you need to decide, do I want to put additional money into this vehicle and do I plan on keeping it, or do I just want to just drive it every once in a while and enjoy it? There's always that process of trying to figure out what their end goal is with this vehicle. If I get somebody that calls me and says that, whether they're going through a divorce or there was a death in the family or something to where they need to move the vehicle because they don't have a place to store it, they don't have a care for the vehicle, they need to figure out what that value is. The value is it's like a stock. So we need to figure out where the market is, what the condition of this particular vehicle is currently. Is it running and driving? How much rust does it have? What has been done? What needs done? And then we try and then come up with what is it worth today? Do we put another 10 grand in it to make it worth another 20 because we can fix a few things or get it running and driving or whatever it is. And some people have, they don't have the money to spend on it. They just want to roll it. They don't like people coming to their house and showing it to who knows who coming through their door. But, there's a lot of different variables, and as far as the auction goes, there's opportunities to, like we talked about, the no reserve auction at Barrett. There's an opportunity to buy a vehicle that's been frame off restored. But how was it frame off restored? Was it done to your liking, or was it done to somebody else's liking? Was it done to the level that you'd want it done, or was it done good enough for the guy that was doing it? So there's all different levels of everything. So when you're buying something at any auction, or even walking into somebody's garage off the street to look at a vehicle, you just got to outweigh the good and the bad, and then figure out where that value is for you. So
yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Don't go into it blind is probably one of the biggest things. Call somebody that knows. Call a buddy. I think one of the biggest things, and I wonder how much you guys come across, and obviously we're kind of going off the auction talk, but I tell guys all the time, they want to sell a project. And I'm like, listen, dude, this is like me dating your ex-girlfriend that gave you nothing but problems. Like you want me just to take this thing off your hands, and you had a vision. It's boxes and boxes of parts, or crates now. It used to be boxes and now it's tubs, right?
Yep.
And I just tell guys, I'm like, listen, and they're like, I have $14,000 in parts. Okay, cool. That $14,000 in parts might be worth 5,000. Okay, because you bought what you thought you wanted, whether that was good, better, best. That doesn't mean that's what I want. That means it's older. There's so many variables that go into that. So that's the hardest thing for somebody when you're telling them. I always tell guys, don't buy a project that's going to sit in said third car garage, piss off mama. You're never going to get it done. Find that balance now. So whether you got to restore a muscle car, you got to pay a shop, whatever you got to do. I always try to get one that's running and driving that you can tinker with a little by little. And then once you have the time and money and space to really blow it apart, that's fine. But picking up a project where it's just been tore apart, it's in a chassis form, and the guy's got all the perfect example. Buddy of mine, 68, another fireman buys it from another fireman. That they're almost not even friends anymore. And they were really good friends because the motor ended up being shit. The guy ended up redoing a ton of the cab body work. And, it's just like, you got to be careful what you're getting into. So with that said, is just taking on somebody's project, unless that said project is a old Game and Parks truck that's been sitting and you can look at every corner and be like, this thing's mint. Well, this is what we're getting into, because there's a lot of things that can be, go on in these tubs and these boxes, and you're trying to find that part and this part, and you're like, God damn it, why'd I buy this thing?
Projects are worth pennies on the dollar is what I tell every customer. So, if you got 20, 30 grand invested in pieces and parts and labor or whatever, it's going to be worth probably a third or less, if not,
Yeah. And I tell guys, if you want that 30 grand, put it all together. Put it all together. How much is it worth to you? Because you want me to put it together and you want me to pay 15 for your 30,000, which sucks, but it's probably worth 8 because there's a factor of headache in there and accountability and figuring it all out. And it's time is money, right?
Time's definitely worth something.
Yeah. Time is money.
Trying to figure out somebody else's basket case is never fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So what are you thinking here? You got any predictions for coming out? What's high numbers, low numbers? Do we dare get into any kind of, no? All right. We're not going to talk about that.
I don't like throwing numbers out there.
I don't either.
Everybody always asks me, what do you want? Well, the question is, it's not necessarily what I want, but it's what it's going to get to. So because it is a no reserve auction, and also they need to realize that if it's something that they want, they can be a winner. They just got to keep raising their hand. So,
well, and not only that, but remember, there's a lot of fees that go into this. So there's fees that go into it from a buyer's and a seller's. It's not free. We're all paying money here to play. A buddy of mine has a great saying: "Scared money doesn't make money." So you gotta get out there and another thing I say about Barrett is there is a party with an auction around it. So if you want to come out to some of these auctions, I don't realize, I can't really fathom if you're a car enthusiast and you're not going to an auction that's near you. It is fun. The people are there. It doesn't have to be a Barrett. It can be, back in the day, it was Russo, Steele, Meekum, and Barrett here. We had, a little bit of everything going on. Now Russo's something else, I think. But yeah, so there's plenty of things going on. Get out there, look around. There's a lot of vendors that are going to be out there. There's shops that are selling that are there for you. Take in the whole experience. Hell, now Barrett's got the cup. You've got, there's so many things going on. Enjoy it all. Take it in.
There's a lot going on. They introduced a lot of the new, vehicles that are coming out to the market and stuff there in their display areas, so there's so much to do. Every car guy needs to go to Barrett at least once or twice and enjoy it. And I enjoy the Barrett Festival or circus, so to speak. But
he might not say it, but I'll say the scenery. And I'm talking cars, really talking cars here. But
No,
yeah,
there is a lot. There is a definitely they bring in a lot of really nice vehicles, a lot of high end stuff. I mean, we've seen some. It's always kind of a Barrett usually always kind of sets the pace for what the year is and what vehicle people are after. So a lot of times we don't know, and it's like in the past, I took a collection of IROC Camaros there 3 years ago that were all low mileage, and it might have been a touch early, but they actually all broke records. So, you never know if it's the right timing for certain vehicles. The Corvettes have been strong, the Pro Touring, Pro modded, Corvette cars, especially the split window cars, the 60s, that kind of stuff, that's been customized, modern drivetrain, stuff like that. Those have been always bringing good money for the last couple of years, but it changes all the time. So,
well, yeah, let's talk about this, and I'll kind of work our way out here. But square body first gen, first full top 345s for the audience.
yeah.
Are we ready? Is the audience ready? The consumer, whereas the 69 to 72s have been the king, they will always be the king. They are the 68, 69 Camaro. But there's a point where a split bumper Camaro second gen is really, really hot. And if it's done right, I mean, I've seen them. Roaster Shop's done one. Obviously, Dale Jr. is a big second gen guy. I'm just wondering now. I've seen full top squares go at Barrett. I think I forget her name, Wagon and Willie's. She did a orange and white one 2 years ago. Loved that thing. Oh my God. But I wonder, and obviously the Bonanza is gonna, I think, set the bar. I don't think I'm not gonna say it's the nicest square first, full top ever built. I think it's top five. I'd have to really break it down. But I do think, are we ready? Are we ready for these square body Blazers to get the love that maybe they haven't gotten? And I think that's a big that's what I'm really watching on this. I mean, granted, I'm watching because I've got so much money and invested interest in this, but that's just personal. But I also think if I'm on the outside looking in, I'm thinking, will these square Blazers start to get a little? They're like the little sister of the hotter older chick, and you're like, yeah, she's damn. What happened to Aaron? She's looking good. So that's what I wonder, from that perspective of, like you said, the Camaros and the different things in the market.
I personally think that we're there. We're ready for it. I know that Tyler and I have been discussing this lately. We try to do some in-house builds, from time to time, and I still love, the first gen Blazers. I'm a huge Blazer guy. I always had at least a Blazer and a Trans Am growing up. In high school, college, you name it, I always had them. The Square to me is definitely one of my favorites right now. I love the first gens, but I'm kind of past that phase. I think the square body market is there now. I feel it because I mean the third gen, the early third gen market for Camaros and Firebirds has taken off. We're seeing more and more square customers come through the shop that want to get vehicles fixed up or get work done to them. And I think it's the timing is right to have a vehicle like yours go across the stage, and especially of that caliber. And as far as I'm concerned, I love how that truck is set up. It's an epitome of that year, that vehicle, and that style, for the great color combo with the wood grain down the side and stuff. It just sets right, and I would love to drive that thing, all the time. So I think the market's there. There hasn't been enough of them out there to see where we're at, but I think that this is the year that they need to really start getting pushed more. If you look back, what has it been? At least a couple of years, I think, since the Roadster shop introduced their square chassis with a full drivetrain and everything on it. And so if you think about that, they're doing a good job of kind of staying a little bit ahead of the curve. They came out with the new IROC, Camaro chassis and stuff. They just announced at SEMA this year. So it's all hitting. So, and it's good timing for that kind of stuff to start coming around with, modern drivetrains. And then you having, a fully removable top that was only available a few years there at the beginning of the Square. So, those are really hard to find, super hard to find.
Well, I think it goes back to that initial class of 83 types discussion where they are the older we get, then there's more people that had the Squares, that whether they just got them because their parents had them and that they were lucky and they didn't realize it, and whatever it was, but they didn't get the first gen, they got the second gen, and just the way you grew up, if you had them, that's what you're going to want. And I think that we're getting to that point where you're in your 50s and you're like, well, I always, Tommy always had that 72. I always loved that. But you know what? I had him a 74. And no, you know what? I want that. That's what I want. And so that's where I think it's going to cycle back. And I think we're there. We're going to find out Saturday how there we are. And yeah, I am very interested to see it. And I also think the trucks, when you think of the round headlight trucks, they've been on that level for probably 8 to 9 years where they really didn't get their due. The first, or the 67, 72s, again, is kind of like the Camaro. Now the square body truck has really, they're in there. They're in it now. So the Blazer should follow suit, and I think it will. And I think the price of the first gen stuff has gotten a little out of hand. And I also think, I'm with you, I love the first gens. I've had a few. I have a few. I just think that, they've been done every which way but loose. And I think that gives the Square a little change, especially with the colors that you see in the second gen that were available, the trim. And GM, whether the audience really breaks this down, GM made significant changes that actually make things a little bit better. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Square is better. I think the 69 to 72 will always be the king. I just think
build quality, they're definitely better.
Well, that's what I mean. When you break it down, the chassis, some of the things that the audience or the buyer may never know, just the way that they made things a little bit better. That's just how things are going to evolve when you build a new style. And that's what they did. And having the 73, 74, you see those changes over when you restore a 71, 72, 69, 72, some of the different things that they made, more better.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
It's the natural evolution of where these vehicles are going to go and where the investment world is going to be is into the Squares. So.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll be out there. Tyler, anything else for you? You got big weekend coming up. Big Monday.
I got a baby due in a week, so I won't be going to Barrett, but good luck out there. And I know your truck's going to do great.
Thanks. Yeah. I'll let you guys know if I told my daughter she's coming up. Her birthday's like Monday. And she's like, actually, yeah. You're having your boy on Monday?
Yeah.
I think 26th. Yeah, that's my daughter's birthday too. So she's coming. She's down in Tucson. So she's like, "Hey, I'm coming up for my birthday on the weekend." And I said, "Are you going to come to the auction on Saturday?" And she's like, and I go, "It's going to be awesome." And she's like, "I don't know if I'm going to go." So I'm like, "Well, I'll take you to dinner either way. Win, lose, or draw. I'll take you to dinner, babe. It's your birthday." So, all right. Well, I think that was pretty good. Anything else to add before I take you out?
I think we're good.
Okay. You guys, Dave, have a safe trip. Obviously, I'll be talking to you. Tyler, good luck on Monday. I'll be thinking of you, and hope it goes smooth.
Yep. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Okay, guys. Take care.
All right. You bet. You too.
322 in the books. Restore a muscle car, auction week. Let's see what happens. Like I said, Sunday, I'm gonna be smiling or crying. But I believe in the Blazer. It's a stunner. A lot of people are like, hey, I didn't know you were going to sell it. Well, I don't think I planned on selling it. It's just one of those things that a lot of money goes into building something right. 2 girls in college. It's a stunner. and I'm very proud of what we built. Very proud. It is such an absolute, it's beautiful. I mean, I'm in love with it, and yeah, sometimes when you're in love with something, you got to set it free, right? So let's see what happens. Saturday the 24th, I'm thinking around 6'7", it's going to go 1444-1, 1444-1. Tune in, check it out, and look for me on stage, hopefully smiling from ear to ear, high-fiving, but you know how things go. You just don't know. And we'll see if square body blazers are going to get their due, and if and when that time is now. So thanks for checking out episode 322 with Dave Hall and Tyler. And 323 will be next week with Scott Mason and Patrick. All right, CK Truck Magazine, new and improved 2.0, coming at you guys. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Late.